The fridge in the forest. They called it a game, a randomizer, a digital key to mystery, Randonautica. But that night, it wasn't fun. It wasn't a game. It was me, Kayla, and 3 friends, Jess, Brooke, and Rowan. We were bored, half delirious from snacks and low-effort horror movies. Someone mentioned the app. Brooke had used it before. Jess downloaded it, laughing, "Let's get haunted or whatever." We set the radius to 18 miles, selected the intention as disturbing. The app gave us a pin, surprisingly close, maybe 4 blocks away. "Let's just drive there," I said. It felt safe, weirdly local. We climbed into my car. I drove, Jess up front, the others in back. The night was unusually quiet, even for 12 a.m. Just wind and trees. We turned onto an old service road I didn't even know existed. Faded signs, gravel crunching under tires. The woods pressed in from both sides. The pin landed near a trailhead, no lights, no markers, just a dent in the trees. We stopped, engine running, headlights aimed at nothing. None of us wanted to get out. We joked nervously, but no one moved. Rowan said, "It feels like someone's watching." The car filled with silence. He wasn't wrong. We turned around. But to do that, I had to drive deeper in before the road was wide enough. As I backed up to pivot, my eyes flicked to the rearview mirror. There was someone in the trees, far back, barely visible, but upright. Still. I didn't say anything. Didn't want to be the one to break the spell. I just whispered, "Let's go." We drove home. Didn't talk much. Didn't sleep much either. The next morning, Jess and Brooke were busy, but Rowan wasn't. He texted, "You thinking about going back?" I already was. Rowan showed up around 10:00 a.m. Big hoodie, iced coffee, nervous energy. I felt the same. We didn't tell the others. Didn't want more people. Or maybe didn't want to be talked out of it. The forest looked different in daylight. Worse, somehow. Easier to see the path. Harder to pretend it wasn't real. We parked in the same spot. Got out. The trail was narrow, covered in leaves. No signs. No sounds. Just birds. Far away. We walked in. About 5 minutes deep, we found a clearing. Someone had been there. Tarp overhead, tied between 2 trees. Under it, an old mattress, rotted, sagging in the middle. Piles of junk around it. Shoes, empty cans, a child's backpack. Everything was damp, flattened by weather or time. But it wasn't abandoned. Not completely. A sleeping bag was rolled in the corner. Fresh mud on the zipper. A water bottle, half full. "Someone lives here," Rowan said. I nodded. My throat was dry. We almost turned back. Then Rowan said, "Do you smell that? Something sour, like wet trash." We followed it past the clearing, deeper into the trees. And that's when we saw it. A fridge. A full-sized white refrigerator, sitting upright in the dirt. Rusty, tilted. The door latched shut with an old bike lock. No power lines. No trail. Just there. It reeked. Rotten meat, mildew, old chemicals, all layered into one punch of stench. Rowan gagged. I covered my mouth with my sleeve. "I don't like this," I said. He just stared at the fridge. Who brings a fridge this deep into the woods? There were marks in the dirt. Dragged lines. Something had been moved. "Maybe it's bait," I said, half joking. But it didn't feel like a joke. We circled it. The fridge buzzed. Not from electricity, from flies. One big one landed on the lock. We didn't plan to return. We weren't that stupid. But something sat in both of us. unfinished. By sunset, Rowan texted again. "Did you see what was in it?" I told him no. Told him I didn't want to. He said, "I took a picture from the side." I waited. No photo came through. Then, my phone crashed. The whole gallery is gone. I didn't reply. I just stared at my phone until it went black. That night, I couldn't sleep. Around 1:45 a.m., my power flickered. The lights went dim, then off. I stood by the window, looked at my car, and I swear I saw someone in the trees, right where my driveway meets the dark. They didn't move, not even when a car passed. I shut the blinds and sat in the corner of my room until the power came back. Next morning, I checked the front yard. Nothing there, but in the dirt near my car, a dragging mark. One single curved track, like something had been pulled. At 9:00, Rowan called. "Someone blocked the road," he said. "Trees just dumped across it." He was already near the trail. Said he wanted one last look. I hesitated, but I got in the car, took a long way around through a utility path, found his car parked sideways, door open. I followed the trail, carefully, quietly. No sounds. The air felt dead. The clearing looked untouched, but different. The tarp was torn, the mattress gone. Just the fridge left. The door now slightly ajar. I didn't open it, didn't step closer. Instead, I pulled out my phone, snapped a photo. Then I heard footsteps. Not mine, not Rowan's. Soft, but intentional. Behind the trees, a figure, not moving, just there. Same height, same stance as what I'd seen in the mirror that first night. I turned and ran. Didn't care about branches. Didn't care what was watching. When I reached the car, Rowan was inside. Pale, sweating. "I saw it move," he said. I didn't ask what. We left. Didn't talk for days. A week passed. We didn't speak. Rowan deleted the app. I tried, but mine wouldn't uninstall. Every time I tapped remove, it froze. Screen went black, so I left it. Ignored it. Pretended it wasn't still there. Then one night, I was scrolling through my gallery. No real reason, just habit. And there it was. A photo. Blurry, grainy, low light. No flash, but I recognized it instantly. The fridge, open. Only, I didn't remember taking that. I tapped to zoom. Inside the fridge was something long and pale. Folded. A shape. A person? No face. Just a bend, where the neck didn't look right. I dropped my phone. The screen cracked. The image stayed burned in my head. I called Rowan. Straight to voicemail. The next day, he texted. "Someone knocked at 3 a.m. They didn't say anything. Just waited." He didn't respond. That same night, I dreamed I was standing in the forest again. Alone. The fridge was humming. The door was open. And something inside was breathing. Shallow. Wet. I woke up gasping. Cold sweat. Heartbeat in my ears. I went outside, just to prove it was over. The air was still, but on my windshield mud, a single streak. It dragged mark. I packed a bag the next morning. Went to Rowan's. He was gone. House locked. Car missing. I haven't seen him since. I called once. Voicemail said, "You've reached Rowan. It's still inside." Then static. A month later, I got a letter. No name. No return address. Inside, a printed photo. Me, standing at the edge of the trail. Back turned, staring into the trees. It was recent. I hadn't been back. At the bottom of the photo, someone had written, "Thank you for finding it." I smashed the